Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Songming's Psychological Channel. Today, we're diving deep into some profound insights that can truly transform the way you perceive life and your interactions with others. You know, the world can be a pretty harsh place, and the sooner we wake up to that reality, the better off we'll be. I remember when I was younger, completely immersed in textbooks, thinking that knowledge alone would save me. I looked down on those who were focused on money, labeling them as greedy and arrogant. But at 40, I had this epiphany realizing I was living a narrow-sighted life. It's like, people are either smart or stupid, and being stuck in the middle is just painful. It's not about character or hard work, it's really about cognition.
Wow, that's so interesting. So, you're saying that if we understand what others need, we can connect better? Can you give an example of how that might work in a real-life situation? What if someone is just really shy?
Absolutely! Imagine you're at a networking event and there's someone standing alone, looking a bit lost. Instead of just ignoring them, you could approach them and ask how they're finding the event. By doing this, you're not only breaking the ice, but also addressing their potential need for connection. It's about being proactive rather than reactive.
Oh, that's so relatable. I mean, I've definitely been in groups where it felt like everyone was just complaining about life. It's like being in a toxic swamp, right? How do you even start to break away from that?
Exactly. It's like trying to swim in a swamp. You'll just get stuck. You have to consciously choose to surround yourself with positive influences. Maybe start by seeking out groups that inspire you or challenge you to grow.
That makes sense. But what if you've been in that swamp for a long time? It's like, how do you even find the strength to swim out?
Great question. It often starts with small steps. You could begin by identifying one person or group that uplifts you and gradually expand your circle. It's about creating a ripple effect of positivity.
Oh, wow, I love that. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow, right? But what if you feel guilty about leaving behind old friends?
Exactly. It's like trying to swim in a swamp. You'll just get stuck. You have to consciously choose to surround yourself with positive influences. Maybe start by seeking out groups that inspire you or challenge you to grow.
That's a tough one. I mean, I love to talk. But how do you balance that? What if you have something really important to say?
Great question. It's all about timing and context. You can still share your thoughts, but do it in a way that invites dialogue rather than dominating the conversation. Think of it like a dance. Sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow.
Oh, that's such a cool analogy. So, it's like knowing when to step back and let others shine too, right?
Now let's move on to the fourth thought. Success isn't about having money first. It's about having the courage to try. Those who dare not try will remain poor. Life isn't about comfort. It's about facing challenges.
Oh, wow, that's so true. I mean, I've seen people who are super talented, but just too scared to take that leap. Do you have a personal story about facing a challenge?
Definitely. I remember when I first started this channel, I was terrified of putting myself out there. But I realized that every challenge I faced was an opportunity to grow. It's like climbing a mountain. The view at the top is worth the struggle.
That's such a great perspective. It's like every step you take is a step closer to that amazing view, right?
Fifth, cherish yourself during tough times. Those who can survive are the ones willing to overcome difficulties. No one's life is smooth sailing. Suffering is just a way to accumulate strength.
That's really powerful. It's like when you're in a storm, you have to remember that the sun will shine again, right? How do you keep that perspective when things get really tough?
Exactly. It's about resilience. You have to remind yourself that every storm eventually passes. It's like a muscle. The more you work through adversity, the stronger you become.
I love that. So it's like training for a marathon, right? The more you push through, the stronger you get.
Now, the sixth thought is to work hard. It's easy to start, but hard to persist. When persistence feels difficult, it may not be your passion driving you. Rediscover your love to find glory ahead.
Oh man, that's so relatable. I've started so many projects that I just dropped halfway through. How do you rediscover that passion?
Great question. Sometimes it's about revisiting the why behind what you're doing. Reflect on what initially excited you and try to reconnect with that feeling.
That's a good point. It's like looking back at old photos and remembering the fun times, right? But what if you can't remember why you started?
7th, don't try to change others. Arguing about right and wrong can lead to losing the ability to empathize. Positions are different. Less talk is more important.
That's so true. I mean, I've had friends who just want to argue about everything. How do you handle those situations without getting frustrated?
It's all about setting boundaries. You can express your views without getting drawn into a debate. Sometimes, just agreeing to disagree is the healthiest option.
Oh, that's a great strategy. It's like having a safety net, right? But what if they keep pushing your buttons?
8th, learn to do subtraction. Focus on what you have rather than what you've lost. This mindset will lead to a healthier and more comfortable life.
Wow, that's a game changer. It's like decluttering your mind, right? How do you practice that in daily life?
Exactly. Start by keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down things you're thankful for. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance.
I love that idea. It's like a daily reminder of all the good stuff, right? But what if you're having a really bad day?
9th, stay away from right and wrong. If you're always involved in others' privacy, you may be the next to be betrayed. Be vigilant and avoid jumping into disputes.
That's so insightful. It's like staying out of the drama, right? But what if you're really close to someone who's always in conflict?
That's tricky. You can still support them without getting dragged into their issues. It's about maintaining your own peace while being there for others.
That's a good point. So, it's like being a lifeguard, right? You can help without jumping into the deep end.
Finally, rely on yourself. If you fall, someone will help you, but you must walk your own path. Maturity is about being responsible for your own feelings and actions.
That's such a powerful note to end on. It's like taking ownership of your life, right? How do you cultivate that sense of responsibility?
Exactly. It starts with self-awareness. Recognize your feelings and actions, and understand that you have the power to change your narrative.
That's so true. It's like being the author of your own story, right? But what if you don't like the story you're writing?
Awareness is the beginning of learning. If this resonates with you, don't forget to share it. Maturity involves turning resentment into learning. When you look at the world from a different angle, you'll find that everything is for the best.
Wow, that's such a great takeaway. It's like seeing the silver lining in every cloud, right? How do you keep that perspective in everyday life?
It's all about practice. The more you consciously look for the positives, the easier it becomes. It's like training your brain to see the good.
I love that. So, it's like building a muscle, right? The more you work on it, the stronger it gets.